Welcome to Cooking on the Kenai. Today I'm going to show you how to measure a variety of different ingredients. Recipes often have directions within the list of ingredients used. Flour is one of those. It will say 1 cup of flour sifted or 1 cup of sifted flour. I'm going to show you today how to measure those and the difference between them. Okay, so first, to measure flour, you need to stir the flour. Flour has a tendency to pack, and so you always want to stir the flour to give it a little bit of aeration. Then you dip in your cup, level off your cup. We have just measured 1 cup of flour. I'm going to sift that flour for my 1 cup of flour sifted. If you don't have a sifter, you can use a sieve like this. Sifting aerates the flour, gets out any lumps that happen to be in it, so that it makes it a lighter, finer texture. If my recipe called for 1 cup of sifted flour, or flour sifted, I would put all of this in there. When the recipe calls for 1 cup of sifted flour, I would take the flour that I have sifted and measure that. So I want to fill my cup, level it off, making sure I've got all the nooks and crannies on the top of it filled. And that is what would go into the bowl. As you can see, the difference between 1 cup of flour that is sifted and 1 cup of sifted flour is quite a bit of flour. This is the difference in your recipe between a batter, which is pourable, and a dough, which you can handle. I also want to show you that flour packs. If you take your flour and pack it down into your cup, you can see there's a lot more space. Professional bakers or chefs usually weigh their flour so that it is the correct amount every time. If I take this flour and turn it out onto my hand and it semi-holds its shape, that means that I've packed it too much and you end up with too much flour in your recipe. It's the difference between a nice moist cake and one that is dry and hard to eat. Okay? To measure sugar, it's very simple. You just dip your cup in your sugar and level it off. Granular sugar has square grains in it, square crystals, so it makes it really easy. Brown sugar, on the other hand, is a combination of white granular sugar and molasses, which is a byproduct of sugar refinement. Molasses gives it its brown color and its characteristic flavor. And because it has moisture in it, you have to pack brown sugar in your cup because those granules do not line up like they do when you have white sugar that just lines right up because they're all square. These have moisture in between them and they don't line up, so you have to pack it into your cup. Once you have packed it into your cup, you level it off. And unlike flour, you want your brown sugar to stay in a piece that you could pick up. That means you have packed it well. Another ingredient we measure, and often people will measure incorrectly, is dry ingredients like rice and cereal, beans, those types of things that are kind of rough. Unlike the first 3 ingredients that we measured that you level off, rice you don't level off, you just shake it level. Because if you leveled it off, you can see this is level now. If I leveled this with a leveler, I'm taking out most of the rice, so you don't want to do that. You just want to shake it level. When you measure small amounts of dry ingredients, you always want a separate bowl, because you don't want to be pouring over your bowl of cookies and make a big mess and dump in twice as much salt as needed. So you measure over the separate bowl, and level it off so that you get the exact amount you need to put in your ingredients. Just like with the rice, if you're measuring a leafy herb or spice, you need to make sure that you are leveling it by shaking, not by leveling with the leveling spatula. Shortening is measured in dry measuring cups also. So with shortening, you want to pack it in just like you did the brown sugar, because it won't fill in all the cracks by itself. So you have to help it by packing it in. Once you have it packed in, then you need to level it off with your leveling spatula. This takes a minute. And then you're going to scoop it all out of your measuring cup with your rubber spatula, just like that. To measure liquid ingredients, you need a liquid measuring cup. Liquids self-level, and so you need to make sure when you measure liquids that you have a liquid cup and you measure it on a flat surface. I don't care who you are, you cannot hold this level. So you put it on a flat level surface, and you get down to eye level to measure your liquid. This is colored water, and I am just going to measure a cup of water. Okay, according to my eye level measurement, this is 1 cup. If you look on the cup over here, you can see that it doesn't look like it's up to the 1 cup line right here. So if I actually measured by standing above it and measured to the 1 cup line, it would be about that much more, which is about 2 tablespoons. And 2 tablespoons would make the difference between a batter and a dough. To measure small amounts of liquid ingredients, you also need to have a separate bowl available. So you're going to pay attention to how much you're pouring into the spoon, because water has surface tension and it will bubble up over the top and you'll get too much. Measuring hot sauce might hurt you a bit if you have way too much of that in a recipe. So you need to keep it as level with the top of the measuring spoon as possible. Just like that. I hope you have enjoyed this video and have a wonderful day.